As I indicated this morning, we are here for a special occasion. And the occasion is made even more special because it's happening around the time of the independence anniversary. So, yet again, I see it as another birthday gift for St. Lucia. 35 years. And when St. Lucia gets all those birthday gifts, sometimes I wish I was once again 45 years. But I'm not too far from that anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, we wish to proceed with our very short ceremony, and I would like to call on the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports to welcome you, Mrs. Belrose.
Today is indeed a historic occasion as we are in the process of seeing a much needed service be established at one of the oldest sporting facilities on the island, which is, of course, the Marchand Recreational Grounds. These grounds have been pivotal in the life of this community for many years. Many outstanding sportsmen and women utilize this ground in their development. I could think of persons like Minda Phillips, Shadi, Arnold Clouden, Rupert Polius, just to name a few. We witnessed many epic football battles on this ground. We also hosted regional events. I remember the OECS Texaco Games, which was a resounding success in the early 90s. The Ministry of Youth Development and Sports, of course, is of the firm opinion that adding the lighting facilities will afford the residents of the surrounding communities the opportunity to not only recreate for longer hours, but encourage more persons and residents to become engaged in fitness and wellness activities within the community. As you know, our country, we have major issues with non-communicable diseases, and it is our hope that the security of the lighting here will allow for residents to develop initiatives for the leaders in this community to develop initiatives for a cross-section of persons from the community. In the process, lessening the burden and stress on our national healthcare system. The ministry understands the impact that such a simple service can have on a community, and of course we encourage the organizations in this community to take advantage of this wonderful effort being made by the government of St. Lucia to ensure that we provide avenues for recreation for persons over longer periods of time. Our contractor, of course, is Praba International, and the company is represented here by Raj this morning. And of course, you'll hear from Raj later about the type of lighting that will be set up here. But of course, the company has had extensive experience in setting up lighting across the globe. And of course, a lot of the work that they've done is reflected in Canada and also India. And many of it we see as we view our television screens, watching the World Cup finals and the ICC champions and the Indian Premier League, etc. So they're here and they'll be doing the service for us. And of course, we look forward to the completion of this project within 4 or 5 weeks. And so with those few words, let me take this opportunity again to welcome all of you, and I look forward to the deliberations this morning. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Belrose. And of course, as you heard, we will get a few remarks from the consultant who will tell us about the lighting. So we could clearly see that we have moved up in terms of the standard of lighting from the fluorescent bulb that we used to have around some of our playing fields. We now have the correct lighting. And so Masha, referred to as sometimes as the capital of Castries, and I have to put it in there, that we will now be receiving, and I say we, because I was once a resident of Marchand. I still come back home off and on. But at this point in time, we would invite to the podium Mr. Raj Walia from Praba International, who would take us through some of the technical specifications of the lighting at this facility. Mr. Praba.
We welcome you all to the sword turning ceremony of the Marchand Field. This is the new beginning to the lighting technology being introduced to the Caribbean. I have no hesitations in saying that St. Lucia is going to get the best soccer lighting ever done in the Caribbean. There is the reason I say that. This lighting system, you have never seen this before, comprises on each pole a low, wide, and a narrow beam light. As you can see from that example we have put in there, the visors of these structures or fixtures are inside the lights. That means there is less drag and the lights will be focused on a specific point on the field. That means your light levels will not drop over coming years. Also, an advantage with this is you have to use less fixtures, or in our terminology we call fixtures, in other terminology we call light bulbs. you will have to use less of them to get the same amount of light levels. You will require actually to put, you will need 30 to 40% extra fixtures to achieve the same light levels we will do with the number of fixtures we're going to put. There will be about 56 fixtures on this ground, which will produce about 600 lux of light on the field. These fixtures are state-of-the-art technology, which need minimum maintenance. It can handle winds up to 150 miles per hour, and it is strong like any other structure in St. Lucia. I also want to thank the Ministry of Sports, who through rigorous tendering process has given us an opportunity to install this lighting system throughout St. Lucia. We wish to work with the people of St. Lucia for many years to come. I congratulate you guys again on your 35th independence ceremonies. They were excellent ones. I enjoyed them all. Welcome you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Walia. And as I explained to you, he would give you the technical aspects of the lights. I do recognize from what he said that we'll be using less electricity. I'm not sure that Lucy Lake will be extremely pleased about that. However, we do have to work as a nation to reduce our energy bill. The next speaker is no stranger. He is a sportsman at heart and has been and continues to be a sportsman. Honorable Sean Edward, Minister for Youth Development and Sports, continues to make strides within the ministry in terms of lighting projects and field maintenance. And this project, one of his, I choose to call it children, is something that he's very proud of. And he would give you a lot more about this particular project and of course the other projects. At this point in time, Honorable Sean Edward, Minister for Youth Development and Sports.
I must say that I am extremely happy to be here this morning. Last week, Sunday in Soufriere, I made the point that I just love outdoor ceremonies. And this morning, on my way to work, I kept on thinking to myself, which one do I prefer as a government minister? Is it a sword turning ceremony or a ribbon cutting ceremony? Anytime we engage in these, it signals to the country, it signals to specific communities that something good is about to happen. And for us today in Marchand, we are going to signal the commencement of the lighting project for this playing field. For the better part of a year and a half to 2 years, I've been speaking of the lighting program in the ministry, where the Republic of China, Taiwan, has made available to the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports a sum of $2.7 million to light up 4 playing fields in the country. From the moment I announced that we'd gotten the money and would be embarking on these projects, parliamentary representatives started lobbying for lights. Every single parliamentary representative wanted lights in their community. But we know it's not possible for everybody to benefit at this particular juncture. And so in the ministry, after careful consultation with the youth and sports officers, parliamentary colleagues, the decision was taken that the 4 playing fields to be lit for this particular financial year would be, not necessarily in that order, but the Marchand playing field in Castries East, the ancillary playing field in the ancillary Canris constituency, the Philip Maslin grounds in Vieux-Fort South, and of course the Larissus playing field in the constituency of Dennery North. Today we are at Marchand. On Thursday of this week we will be in ancillary, and at a subsequent date we will announce when the sword will be turned in Vieux-Fort and the Mabouya Valley. This project at the Marchand playing field is costing the government of St. Lucia $668,787.59. I recall at a ceremony in Dennery North when the Dubonnet Bridge was being commissioned, the Deputy Prime Minister speaking at the time as the Line Minister for Infrastructure said, and I quote, "There are no St. Lucian standards anywhere in St. Lucia. And because of the advent of globalization, whatever we do in St. Lucia must be on par with what obtains in more developed countries. Now, I'm not sufficiently qualified to talk about the technical aspects of the light. But what I can tell you is that we've opted for a company that has a very good reputation in what they do. Mr. Willier didn't tell you, but we've done our due diligence on Praba. And what we know is that as recent as last year, or the latter half of 2013, they completed a major lighting program in St. Kitts Nevis. And my research has also pointed to the fact that once they finished with the playing fields in St. Lucia, they will be on their way to Grenada, where they will be embarking on projects of this nature. The PS alluded to the fact that there are untold benefits that can be derived from an investment of this nature. I want to echo her sentiments and say that we have a serious problem in this country as it relates to chronic non-communicable diseases. And what the Ministry of Health personnel are telling us as a country is that medication alone will not solve the problem for us, but that instead we need to pay careful attention to our lifestyles, so that when this playing field becomes available and the hotel worker or the average public servant who puts in the extra hour for the government gets home at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, they will have a place to recreate on an afternoon. Too many persons stay home and watch television after work. That is not what we want for the country. We want the young, we want the old, we want the elderly. We want everybody to come out and partake in physical activity. I was reading a document from the Ministry of Health recently, which stated that in St. Lucia at the moment, every week, on average, there are 2 amputations. At least 2 persons in St. Lucia, on average per week, they're either losing a leg, an arm, or some part of their bodies as a result of diabetes and other chronic non-communicable diseases. So whereas in the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports, we focus on the competitive aspect of sport, whereas we focus on creating the avenue to give young St. Lucians an opportunity to harness their talent and to represent our country well, we also want to underscore the health benefits that can be derived from engaging in sporting activities. I don't want to say everything here today because I know there's another ceremony that we will be staging at the Marchand grounds. This time, not only will we be cutting a ribbon, but we will be switching on the light. And I just want to say that the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports is extremely pleased to be associated with a project of that nature, and it is my sincere hope that as we continue to deliver to the young people of St. Lucia, that at the end of this term of government, there will be a lot more playing fields in the country that will be down for consideration as far as our lighting program is concerned. So to everyone here this morning, I hope you enjoy the rest of the proceedings. And more importantly, I hope that the residents of Marchand in particular will embrace the project for what it is worth. And at the end of the day, they will be the main persons to benefit from such an investment. Thank you and best wishes to everyone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. Not reiterate anything that you said, well articulated. At this point, we would turn our attention to His Excellency Ambassador James Chang of the Republic of China, Taiwan, who would deliver a few remarks, and as you have heard, they were the main financiers of this project.
It's really my pleasure and honor to attend this ceremony. On behalf of the government of the Republic of China, Taiwan, I would like once again extend my heartfelt congratulations for the residents of the community for having a new lighting system for this beautiful playfield. Besides of this project, I'm so happy to take this opportunity to mention that we are having a lot of cooperation projects undergoing, such as the Constituency Development Program, which has already completed more than 230 projects to build the footpaths, road, drainage, water tanning wall, as well as other infrastructure constructions. And also, we are also working on the prevention of the banana black Saratoga. So it is my firm belief that through our joint efforts, we can carry out more cooperation projects which will meaningfully bring more benefits to the societies in this country. I also like to mention that every day I can see on TV or on newspaper always carrying a lot of sports. It means that this country, we do value the importance of youth and sports. I would say the youth are always, they are the promising and they are the future of the country. So I can tell from the TV, from the newspaper, this country, since you are always valuing the importance, that means you will have a better and bright future for these people, for this country. In closing, I would like once again to congratulate that for your having a new lighting system for this beautiful playfield. And I do hope that with our joint effort, we will work on more cooperation projects, which I hopefully can bring more benefits and create more jobs for the people of St. Lucia. I thank you.
Thank you very much, His Excellency. And I saw the smiles coming from the audience as he said over and over, more. So we are in good stead. At this point, we want to call to the podium the parliamentary rep is the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, Minister for Infrastructure, but more significantly today, the parliamentary rep for Castries East.
If you notice that there's a kind of eerie silence this morning, it's not because the people of the constituency are not involved, it's because they are shell-shocked. You see, I've represented this constituency now from 1997, having lost in 1992. That's important, having lost in 1992. I won in 1997, and my stiffest challenge was in 2006. In 2006, the whole kitchen sink was thrown at me, including promises to do exactly what is happening here. With the help of the people, we survived 2011, sorry. My stiffest challenge was 2011. We survived 2011, and we are here today. And that promise was made from 1997 and before 1997. Every parliamentary rep always promised to fix the Marchand grounds and to put lights on the Marchand grounds. That was a staple in every election campaign. Lights on the Marchand ground and fix the Marchand ground. And today, under my watch, we are having both of them. Fixing the Marchand playing field and lights on the Marchand ground. So if you see, if there is a feeling of shell shock, you must forgive them. Because I don't even think my friend Mr. Alfred believes what he's seen. I don't even think he believes it. Or even my friend Mr. Cooper. I don't think they believe that. Because you see, that was almost something that would never happen. These politicians just talking. They thought that would never happen. But a promise, when what has characterized my political involvement is I always try my best to keep to my word, and I can say no when I have to say no. And when I promise the people of this constituency that we would light the Marchand grounds, I want to really thank the Minister for Sports. I want to thank the ambassador from Taiwan, for making the funds available. I want to thank the Permanent Secretary. I want to thank the Social SSDF for fixing the grounds. And I want to thank the people of the constituency for their patience. So today, I am not even, I can't describe how I feel. The emotions that I feel will really happen when we have the lights on and we have the game being played. Because I'm not sure myself that what I'm seeing is right. And I'm seeing it myself. So you must excuse the eerie silence that's happening here, that's here today. We are not believing what we are seeing. So we need now to move on. We need now to continue, because I'll tell you something. Even as we are here now, there are some people who believe it will not happen. Whilst even at this very moment, with all of you here, there are some skeptics who will say that ain't happening. You can't get lights in Marchand at this particular point in time. I'm told by the PS that we should have lights here in a maximum 8 weeks. That we should have this facility lighted at a maximum of 8 weeks' time. And in 8 weeks' time, when we have the lights and we have the game, then you will see the difference in the atmosphere. You will see the difference, because then the reality would have struck and we would have lights in the facility. I want to remind and to implore the people of this constituency who will use the facility to take care of it. We've spent on this ground over $1.7 million. In fact, nearly $2 million would have been spent on this ground when we are finished. And we still have work to do. We still have to repair the stands. We have to repair the stands, and that is work in the future. The country is going through some serious fiscal issues. Money for youth and sports is difficult to come around. And that is why the government people of Taiwan, that is why we have to be thankful to them. Because it's rather difficult now to get money for anything because of the fiscal situation that exists in the country today. And for a government to have the guts to invest nearly $2 million in a facility for the young people of St. Lucia, that is something that we must applaud and we must be thankful for. That shows the faith that the government has in the young people of St. Lucia. And I know the government can be criticized for many things, but with the introduction of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, there is no one who can say there has not been a drastic improvement in sporting facilities in the island-wide. Anyone can see and anyone can feel. And Minister Sean Edwards, you and your staff deserve congratulations for that. Every playing field in this country has been improved in some way or the other. In my constituency, the Enchibo playing field, now it's well, the grass is well kept, etc. The Hest playing field, the grass is well kept. Every facility. There were playing fields in this country where there was so much grass on it, not even cows could have eaten the grass. These facilities existed in this country. And today, in every one of them, and you see, sometimes when we speak about these things, we are criticized. But the fact is, the reality, you can't live in a country where everything you're bombarded with is negativity. There are very good things happening in this country during difficult fiscal times. And the upkeep and the maintenance of playing facilities as one of the pluses for the government and people of St. Lucia. What has happened as far as playing fields is concerned? So what I have to do right now is to thank everyone, to thank the ministry, as I said, the government and people of Taiwan, the SSDF, the contractors who I'm sure working with our friends Michelle Electronics or Electrical? Michelle Electrical. I'm sure that working together with them, they will do a good job. I'm sure with John Michelle and you hear Alpha talking there, things will work very well. So I want to thank everyone, and I want to invite you in advance to the turning on the lights and the opening of this playing field. And I'm sure when you come at this time, you'll find yourself in an atmosphere that will be near a carnival-like atmosphere. You're going to have music, you're going to have dancing, you'll have everything you want. Huh? Cheerlead, everything you have, and you will see the real spirit of St. Lucia. Because we have now to treat every part of St. Lucia as an important component of this country. We have to stop the stigmatization of communities. We have to stop it. We have to stop the belief that only people who live north of Castries, that they are different than people who live in Castries. We have to stop calling places ghetto. We have to stop it. We have to stop that. The only ghetto that exists is in your mind. And that is why we have to upkeep and we have to maintain these facilities. We have to make them world-class facilities so that for the people who play in these facilities can be exposed to facilities that they'll get anywhere in the world. I want to thank you very much, and we hope that we can return here with a grand opening ceremony for the Marchand grounds. Thank you very much.